Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Tell us what you do at Folio, your role, and what you're responsible for.
Sure. Again, Greg Vigrass, President of Folio Institutional, and I'm responsible for overseeing our business with financial intermediaries like broker-dealers, registered investment advisors, asset managers, and others.
And in the work that you do, how does SRI factor into the scope of what you're responsible for?
SRI actually factors in a pretty big way, and in fact, in a growing way at this point. Most advisors are beginning to hear from their clients that their clients are really looking to put their money to work in ways that align with their beliefs, their values, and the things that are important to them. Historically, it's been sort of a niche practice, and Folio, with some of the technology tools that we've always offered, has provided a natural platform that really facilitated the work that the SRI ESG Impact Advisors were doing with their clients. As it becomes a more mainstream trend, it just opens up a ton of opportunity for us. We continue to refine and enhance it, add additional data feeds, look for additional ways to bring value to advisors who are increasingly just trying to meet the needs of their clients.
We talk right now a lot, just in SRI 29, around how now is the time. And we hear this a lot and heard this a lot at the conference, just in the sense that there seems to be an increased momentum and an increased sense of urgency in bringing SRI more to the mainstream. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. The obvious and sort of low-hanging fruit answer goes to the current political climate. But leaving that aside, for me, it's a convergence of two really significant trends. The first is there's this increasing recognition, if you will, that the financial community and the investment community specifically has an increasing responsibility in addressing things like social, governance, impact, environmental issues and the like. And that's converging with the fact that consumers, investors in particular, are really using their voices to amplify the fact that these things are important. Companies that are going to be successful in the new economy have to be both responsible corporate citizens, need to be responsive to the needs and demands of consumers, and have to be aware that there are more eyes on their activities. There's greater transparency, and investors see that. And I think increasingly investors are becoming very loud, if you will, about the need to have those considerations included. And I think those things taken together really provide an incredible opportunity right now for everyone in our industry to do some very transformative things.
You attend a lot of conferences in the work that you do, and you speak at a lot of conferences, and you've been to many of our SRI conferences. Talk to us a bit about what makes this conference different.
Yeah, I think a number of things make this conference different. There is sort of a core old guard, if you will. This is the 29th. There's a lot of folks here that have been to 10, 15, 20 of these conferences, and there's a real closeness amongst the group. And quite frankly, this conference is made up of sort of a perfect blend, if you will, of attendees. You've got the pioneers in the space, clear leaders in the space. You've got the next generation of advisors and leaders, and then you have a lot of sort of emerging talent, as evidenced by the scholarship program and many of the younger practitioners here. Couple that with some of the more thoughtful and innovative investment managers and product manufacturers, some of the more innovative technology and data providers, and you kind of have all of the components for a really healthy debate. Add to that the fact that this is probably the most intellectually curious and the most emotionally open group that I ever see come together at a conference. And what you really have is an opportunity for open, honest dialogue, a lot of social interaction, a lot of conversations that carry from the meeting rooms and from the conference rooms into the social time, and the continuation of conversations because people care, not simply because, hey, I attended the session and wasn't that interesting, but it's something that everybody in attendance here really lives and breathes this. And so it sort of just continues over, and what you have is a handful of days of just continuous, really healthy interaction, debate, challenge, arguments, but really done with the right spirit.
It's interesting. We have many of our sponsors have given us feedback that this is the event that they enjoy sponsoring the most because they feel that it's the most rewarding, because we really truly are in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit about that and your perspective on that.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And I think the other thing is, the providers that are in this space, just as you just said, are in it for the right reason. And so this is kind of a marquee event for them. It's the first thing that gets circled on the calendar every year. And it's for a number of reasons. Partly it's brand, and to continue showing that their brand is in support of the movement, if you will. But it's also an opportunity to connect with the people that have been loyal to them, that have provided the ideas. It's an opportunity to engage and hear what people see as far as trends in the industry, and how they, as entities that provide products and services to that space, what they should be thinking about and what they should be developing in terms of product trends and product development. And then I think a lot of it is they actually have a genuine voice in the debate. So often I think product manufacturers in this industry are simply that. They're product manufacturers. They see an opportunity and they have expertise to develop a product, put the product out in the market and have it used. Here what I think happens is people are, the sponsors are really considerate of how products are developed and what need they're trying to meet and what it is that they, as investment organizations, can do to really influence positive change on both the social and governance standpoint. And so I think what you find here is sponsors that are really looking for input, more so than simply trying to sell a product. And that to me is a big difference.
What's happening on the Folio side that you think our listeners should be aware of?
We've got so much going on right now, which is great and also challenging. Obviously, we are a financial services and financial technology company, and so we sort of straddle a couple of different areas, a couple of different key areas in the industry. And that gives us a good opportunity to, sort of touch and operate in a bunch of different places. But key to us is continuing to recognize some of the trend shifts in the industry. I think first and foremost in that is what I would call digital engagement. And I think what underlies that is the fact that the rules of engagement are changing in our industry. This is no longer a enterprise or service provider defined engagement model, but the consumer is looking at different ways to engage with their financial services provider, importantly on their terms. Think of it, if you will, as sort of the Amazon priming of financial services, right? It's kind of an on-demand world. So consumers are more demanding about how they access their service providers, when, through what means, what they're willing to pay for, and the degree to which they are willing to be active and involved in the circumstance. So at Folio, we have been spending an awful lot of time on what we call our digital wealth services platform, which we believe is really going to lead the next generation of investment creation and distribution. It's really going to transform the way that consumers and financial professionals engage. It really has the potential to shift the focus on which parts of the process are really important and valuable. And I think it's going to also allow advisors and other enterprises to meet that need, but uniquely stay incredibly involved and incredibly important to the process. So we're definitely view that as a key development. And there are so many sort of tentacles off of that, if you will, that should keep us busy for a while.